everyone. This is Deb from Findsofthencfoothills, and today is Monday, and I am driving home from a day of work. It's a beautiful day, and it's 55 degrees. So all of our snow that we got over the weekend is starting to melt, and we're back to just normal brown grass and no leaves on trees here in North Carolina. Today, I do have my wallet with me. If you saw my last car chat, I forgot to put my wallet in my tote bag, and I had no license, no credit card. Was at the mercy of anything in that car. So I do have my wallet and my license with me today. Doesn't mean that I can speed or not be good, but I do have all my credentials with me today. So today I was thinking about, just on the way home, if we could just talk about transitioning to retirement, and what that looks like as you're leaving the workplace. And for anyone who's going through this with me and you watch this, I would absolutely love to hear from you what you're doing and how it's impacting you, or if you've gone through it and you have advice that you can give us, that we can think about as we're going through this process. So the first thing is, when is the right time to announce your retirement? Now, some people, they will do it 6 months in advance, and they'll go through the whole retirement farewell tour, I call it, where they are talking about it for months. They're having retirement luncheons, and they are really closing every chapter with everybody before they leave. And then we have some who I've seen wait, and you don't know about it till the day they're gone. They tell their manager, they keep it quiet, and we get an announcement, and when you go to say, oh my gosh, we'll miss you, they're gone. And I suspect it might be hard for people to tell others about their plans to retire, and that it may be something they just can't talk about, and it's just too emotional, and I can see that. I can see it. I think when it becomes my time to retire, I'm probably going to fall in that second category, where I'm going to keep it pretty quiet. It will be emotional for me. I've known a lot of these people for decades. There might be a small group of people that I will tell, but I think I'll keep it quiet. I don't want a retirement luncheon. I don't want that kind of attention, and so I think I probably would fall in that second category. So I'm very curious to know, is that a mistake? Is that a mistake? Is it wrong to not give people an opportunity to say, good for you, congratulations? I don't know. I don't think it's being selfish. I think it's really just protecting yourself from the emotion of leaving people that you've known for decades. So really curious about that. And the second thing that I'm thinking about is, how connected do you want to stay after you retire? Again, my experiences, I've seen people send an email out to 200 people and say, here's my phone number and my email. Call me. I'd love to hear from you. That can be good. That can be good, because it may help you transition yourself out of the workplace if people are calling you. But then I look at that to think, people may call you, hey, this is what's going on. They've changed this rule or that rule, and they may seek guidance from you. They may want to go, what would you do in this situation? If you're that connected, you should just stay at work. I think for some, it's a good way to just kind of ease themselves out. And I suspect over time, people will stop calling as much and looking for guidance, but do you want a clean break, or do you want to transition out slowly and keep connected to what's going on in the workplace? I suspect that going through retirement would be the same thing as going through the stages of a loss. You know, your first stage is denial. On your first day of retirement, are you trying to get online to see what's going on, to see if there's anything that, you know, somebody may need your help to do? Are you checking emails? Are you having a hard time letting go? Or are you having a hard time accepting that it's okay to let go? For those of us that our job has been our priority for our entire life, we might not know that it's okay to not be on email anymore, or to not be a part of what's going on anymore, that it's okay. We haven't received that permission to let go, to be okay, not to be involved. It's no longer my boat to have to help steer, right? I'm no longer in the boat. The second one might be, sorry, kind of ran off the road a little bit if you hear that noise. Might be anger. You know, mad. I'm mad at the decision I made. I think I made a mistake. And they're not going to take me back. And then you may move over to bargaining, where you're bargaining. Well, if I call them back, maybe they'll reverse my retirement. This is all a mistake. I should have never done it. What was I thinking? I have nothing to do now. I'm just sitting here at home. Maybe they'll take me back. And then you may move into depression, because now you are realizing that you are retired. You're no longer part of that workforce. You're no longer in the hamster wheel. You have stopped the hamster wheel and gotten off. And now you're a lone man on an island, and what do you do with yourself? And I think the last step is part of loss, is just accepting the fact that you are retired. It is, you are retired. You've made that decision, and now you've got a new chapter in your life. I remember when my dad retired, he was very excited. We were very excited for him, because we really felt that he deserved the opportunity to be retired and enjoy his life. And that first year for him was extremely hard. He missed his friends at work. He missed being part of something. He felt like the world had just passed him on by. And he didn't know what to do with himself. And he really got depressed. And then after a few months, he started getting out and doing things and volunteering with the church. He worked part-time for a little bit. And then he really started to enjoy being retired. And what he didn't realize is all he had to do is pick up the phone and call his friends, and they were like so excited to talk to him. How you doing? Hey, how's retirement? How you doing? What you been up to? And that would make him feel good. It made him still feel like he was still cared about. So that's those are some concerns. Is when do you announce your retirement? Are you someone who you feel like would want to go on the retirement farewell tour, where you tell everybody 6 months beforehand and you talk about it and have your retirement farewells? Or are you someone that's going to keep it pretty close to the chest, because either it's a very personal thing for you, or you just can't handle the emotional side of leading people? I think about that. I've got some very close friends that I've made. Our children grew up at the same time, and now they're grown with families. And I find myself now that I've got to this point in my life, in my career, where when I see them, I'm more reminiscent with some of the things we did decades ago. Some of the things we did, I almost got in trouble, almost got fired. Some of the stuff we pulled, and we will talk about that and just laugh and have a good time with it and think, what were we thinking? And we'll just always end with, those were the good times. Those were the good times. But now we're older and smarter and more mature. We don't do those kind of things anymore. But I do find myself more reminiscent with people that I've come through with about the good old times. And for me, I think that's my way of saying farewell. I do think that when I retire, I will reach out to a handful of people who have really impacted my life, in that I want to make sure that I have some way of contacting them, just to say hello, how you doing? Because a lot of the folks that I've come up through, they're coming along the same lines as me, where they'll be retiring too. And I don't want to lose contact with these folks and not ever hear from them again. So I do believe there'll be a small pocket of people that I will keep a relationship with, maintain friendship with. And another thing I think about retiring is, when I'm thinking about retiring and all things that I may have to deal with, is the world moving on without me. I'm no longer going to be a part of the hamster wheel. And will people look at me differently? I'm no longer that valued member of a team. I'm Deb, who's retired. And how will my husband look at me? He's still working, and he's going to work a couple of more years. Is he going to look at me and say, wow, it must be nice not to have to go to work, or now you're on this fixed income and you're not being that productive member of society, which he would never do that. He would not do that. But in my mind, I feel like it's going to make me a little bit more dependent on him. And I've never been dependent on anybody. I've never had to. Emotionally, yes. Of course, we're all dependent on each other. We need each other. But as far as keeping my head above water, I like to be able to do that without anyone having to do it for me. So I worry about him looking at me differently. Does that make sense? Or is that just craziness in my head? So I would love to know, if you watch this, did you feel that way? Not only leaving the workplace and leaving my friends, but how does your husband, wife look at you, and your family look at you? I feel like they're going to look at me like I'm being put out to pasture. I don't know. Scary. It's a scary thing. So that's where I am, just thinking about the transition to retirement from an emotional standpoint, getting ready, learning about Social Security and Medicare, Part A, Part B. That's a whole different topic. I am not up to speed on what that means yet, and I need to be. I'm just now starting to make peace with the fact that this is probably going to be the year I go. So I'm trying to prepare myself emotionally for what may be to come. And I know you can't. What am I going to do that first Sunday night when I don't have to be at work Monday morning? Am I going to try to sign in and look at emails? And I don't know. I need help. I need help from anyone who's going through it, from anyone who's gone through it. I'd love to know how you did it, how you're going through it, how you went through it. I've seen people go through it, and I've seen my dad go through it, which kind of scares me. But I've also seen people retire and come back just to have lunch with people, and they look 10 years younger, and they're so happy. A neighbor told me once The only question you will ask yourself when you retire is, why didn't I do this before now? She said, that's the only question I ask myself. Why did I not do this before now? Life is so good. Life is so good. So that's my topic for today for us older folks coming into our senior citizen age. I do wish that we could be called something other than senior citizens. I don't think that's an appropriate title for us, even though we are senior. Can we not be called something else? Can we not be called seasoned adults, or lucky I don't have to go to work? No, but seriously, I just, the whole senior citizen thing, I think of my grandmother back in the 60s and 70s, back when they used to wear the cotton dresses and the apron and they put their hair in the ball. That's what I think of. And that's not the senior citizens of today. Senior citizens of today are active, they look great, they're a tremendous asset to society. They sure are. They sure are. They're grooming our next generation to take over. Huge asset. Without our seasoned adults, where would this world be? Right? Where would the world be? Okay, I'm going to get off here. I just passed somebody getting pulled over. Thank goodness that's not me. I hope you have a good day. I'm going to come to this stop sign right here. I hope you have a good day. Be good to yourself. If you're not good to yourself, how can you be good to anybody else? Bye.